So both these teams are set to go. They're huddling up now. And I'm interested to see which one of these young boys is going to go deep.
Well, I tell you, I've seen the two teams play, and I'm expecting an offensive type game here because we're to the end of the tournament, and the pitcher might be a little thin, might be a little tired. So I think that offense may come off based on what I've seen in the past couple of days.
All right, and on the hill for Greensboro is Jalen Davis. All right, they are ready to play here in Richmond. Batting first for Northern California is Rupert Watson. He's already a student in college at Napa Valley College.
Yeah, I think this young man is a young man who has really improved himself based on the information that we've gotten from high school. He's come a long way, and these guys are looking to get exposure and to expand their their visibility in baseball profession.
First pitch. He got the strike there, but it was a little some jitters for the umpires maybe too, but they're ready. They're ready. They're locked in.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to expect maybe, a little jitters. This is a grand stage for a lot of these kids, and some of them, their first time away from home, playing under this kind of, atmosphere. But I expect after a couple of innings that they're going to settle down, and you're going to see probably some very good athletes play this game.
I believe it. And Davis, to his credit, he's working fast. He's trying to establish a rhythm on the mound right now as Watson puts it into play. Routine out to first, one down for Greensboro.
Yeah, the third baseman here is really, really good. I'm impressed with his arm and the way he handles himself on the field. I expect this kid to really improve as he gets more and more, formal instructions, in competitive baseball.
And stepping into the plate right now is Tyrone Bowie for Northern California. Lays one down. And smart move. He gets on base pretty quickly.
That is one move that I think that a lot of young ball players really overlook. I think it's an ego thing with most ball players. But when you have speed, you have to be able to use that speed and realize that is a valuable part of the game.
And you get somebody on base without sacrificing it out, you're doing something right.
No question about that.
So one man on Team Cali, stepping into the plate right now. It's Joshua Pigg, and they're looking to swing early. They're coming out fairly aggressive on the Team Cali side.
But the one thing I think both these clubs are very aggressive. Now, so you're going to see that. Maybe because of the jitters, they might be a little more aggressive than normal, but from what I've seen the past couple of days, they are very aggressive, and discipline is not going to be something that I'm looking for here.
And these runners are already looking to move as Davis checks on Tyrone Bowie.
Well, the one thing that I've noticed here is that, the catching here is probably, in all levels of ball, catching is probably the hardest place to find a quality player.
Pitch outside by Davis. And I had that struggle as a kid growing up as the rare left-handed catcher when I played Little League. So I know the fear of throwing the second. I was just hoping nobody stole.
There he goes.
And Bowie's in there with a steal, so he bunted to get on base, and he's already in scoring position.
Well, and that's the thing, too. They know that offense and the lack of, arm strength from the catchers, and they're going to exploit this. Both teams will. I've seen that throughout the last couple of days, and I look to see more up today.
Bowie's getting a comfortable lead at second. He might try to take third. Chopper looking back to the base. Oh, and the first baseman.
That's on the exchange, so it's still an out. But it's still to show you that these guys, they have been coached very well. They've coached very well, so they understand the game. And that's what has impressed me over this past couple of days, is watching how much these kids have read. That's from the 12U division up to the 19U division. These kids really have been taught the game.
And it shows when you're already thinking about how can I generate runs in the first inning, how can I move runners.
And that's important because I think we overlook how important just move. So it's not always about hits. It's about moving runners, and they're willing to do that.
Blake Grant Parks in the box right now for Team Cali. Fouls that one back towards us. So 1 out. 2 outs right now for Team Cali. I feel like just getting through this inning for Davis will settle him down a little bit. He's settling in already. His pitches are finding the zone more than they did the first few batters.
Yeah, well, I think it's important the first inning. And like I said, these guys are probably a little tired. And I think they're going to have to find – they may not have the best fastball or the best stuff, so they're going to have to fight through the fatigue.
And Bowie was going on that one.
And that's another move right there where it's gutsy move. You know, it's 2 outs, you're on second base, and you're taking a chance on stealing third base. If you're successful, great. You know, but you get thrown out, then there's a little bit of criticism is going to come there, and rightfully so. You know, so they always say be 100%. You're going to make it. There can't be any question about it. So.
And I think the fans appreciate that aggressive style. They like to see that movement on the base paths to know that, you know, hey, teams are awake out here and they're trying to score.
But the average fan love excitement. They love seeing things moving around. You know, they're not worried about the technical part of the game, you know, or what is
Bowie moving again and
fundamentally sound. I mean, that is not something that they're really concerned about. They want to see action. They want to see runs. They want to see things happening.
And Bowie again puts himself even closer to home plate. He takes third on that pitch.
Now, some people say, well, why would you do that? Well, now you can pass ball. Anything can happen, error. Anything can happen. Now he increases his opportunity to score.
And the KO gets Davis out of the inning. Good pitch there.
A nice little breaking ball right there. And that's what's been good. I saw guys the other night throwing 3-2 breaking balls. And that is almost, you know, that's something that coaches, we don't like to see. But when pitchers can do it and you have the capability of doing it, why not?
So North Carolina gets out of the inning pretty much unscathed, gives up 1 hit. And, you know, Bowie made it to third. But going into the bottom of the first, we're scoreless here in Richmond.
We have 4 children, 3 cats, a dog, a bird, and a bunny. So there are a lot of mouths to feed. And dinner time can be a little hectic because when they're hungry, they're hungry. And with such a large family and being on a single income, we have to save money. And that's why we shop at Martin's. They have the bonus buys and the fuel perks that help me save more. When I look at my receipt and see the savings, I realize we just couldn't do it without them.
I'm Jamie Town, and I get the most for my money at Martin's.
Hi, it's Cindy O'Loughlin. We are here with Coach McClendon with Team Cali. So, Coach, tell me, how was your trip down here first?
It was rough. We had about 3 of them airlines, and several players got stalled, but they got here.
That's always good. So tell me, what goes into the preparation for the Classic?
A whole lot. We've been working for a while, hiring players, keeping players, getting the right players till we got what we want. But we want them all to realize this is a chance for them to go on to their future.
Well, great. So tell me what you think makes your team have the best advantage today.
We got beat by this team 2 years ago. That ain't happening again. That ain't happening again. We believe that we can make everything we want to make out this show because it's ours to make, okay? And that's what's important.
Well, thank you. We'll let you get back to your team. This was Coach McClendon, and we are here with Team Cali, and we'll be right back.
All right, back to action here in the bottom of the first inning. Stepping into the box for the Aggies from North Carolina, Jose El Colon, and he's swinging. Off to the warning track, and he might be able to get 3. Legging it out. So lead off. Oh. Make that a score.
Make that a score.
So the leadoff triple turns into a home run on the pass ball. And
that's the one thing that we can look for. I say this North Carolina team can swing the bat. They can swing the bat.
They are on the board that early. Peyton Simmons 1 pitch in and a run down already. So not much time to settle in.
Not much time to settle in, you know.
So stepping in for the North Carolina team is Nin Marrero. He's swinging early, too, and good pitch there by Simmons.
These kids are not going to be taking any time up there today. They are excited, and, you know, there's been a little trash talk going on, too, now, all right?
East Coast versus West Coast here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and a great diving stop at third. with the throw. Good stretch by Simmons at first to get the out.
He played that ball really well. The hop, the way he backed up on it, and it almost took a little trick on it, but he stayed with it. I mean, just go. These guys have been taught very well. They're athletes, and that helps. That goes a long way.
And the pitcher steps in to bat third for North Carolina. And actually, he didn't get the out. I guess he pulled him off the bag. So, 1 on.
Okay.
No outs. North Carolina up 1-0 and trying to get a little bit more. A little low.
Yeah, this kid's hitting here today. I saw him hit one of the longest home runs. His bat is really, really, really quick. He really has an understanding of what he needs to do up there at the plate.
And Simmons checks on Marrero at first. So 1 run, 1 hit. And Marrero's on first after the throw in error. Down the pipe, a strike for Simmons.
He stays around the plate. You just have to trust. You're going to have to trust. He can't get a little nervous here and start being timid. You're going to have to throw strikes.
And playing in the National League for so much of your career, how many pitchers do you remember that had really good bats?
Well, believe it or not, it's only a few. Only a couple guys had good bats, but every pitcher think he can hit.
Right.
Every pitcher think he can hit. But this is an athlete, and then going to college myself, sometimes you have to play a dual role. You have to be an offensive player as well as, the pitcher or whatever. So you have to be able to do that. And I'm thinking that this kid is going to be one of those guys.
So Jalen settles in. 1 ball, 2 strikes on him. No outs for North Carolina. High there. 2-2. The count. He's patient. He's going to make him throw some pitches to him.
Oh, yeah. He's going to – this kid has an idea, what he wants to do.
And it's great to see, the flashes of baseball IQ at this age already. When they go to the next level, and with great coaching, they can, only expand that.
And that's what I think is amazing, and these kids have an advantage if they're able to take advantage of it, and sometimes it takes finances to do that.
So Davis swinging away, and this one gets into the gap, drops down. Marrero's going to score easily, and Davis is huffing it to third right now. Stand-up triple for him. So 2 runs on the board right now for North Carolina. No outs.
As I said, this North Carolina team will swing the bat. So, a lot has to do with the pitching. Like I say, the pitching might be a little tired from, it's been a tough week. It's been a tough week. But they'll have to find a way, to keep themselves in the game and allow the offense to come through. And
Grant Parks come from behind the plate to give his pitcher some encouraging words. It's only the first inning, but you don't want to feel buried already.
Now, understand that it's just the first inning. And, you're down 2 runs, but as the game last night, Team Cali hits a grand slam to come back and win the ball game. So, hey, you're still in the game.
So Brandon Burke's in the box now. That pitch outside. Burke swinging away, puts that one high up in the air.
Pitcher's calling for it.
Wave them off. Simmons makes the out, so 1 out. Team Cali, I just got to feel good to get that first one now.
Well, sometimes that's what it takes. I need to get an out, and that's big. If I give up 3 runs here, that's a moral victory.
Right.
And if he can get out with 2 runs, that's outstanding. So, I think he's still in pretty good shape.
So Sean Moss steps into the box for North Carolina. Already up 2-0 in the bottom of the first. And Simmons looked like he aimed that pitch. It looked a little low.
Yeah, I think he's trying to be a little careful now. He knows that his team can swing the bat, so he's being a little too cautious, I think, and sometimes that really hurts you.
Fouled away. And Davis looked a little antsy on third. I don't think he's going to steal home, but he seems like he wants to put some more runs on the board to help his own cause on the mound.
Well, Davis is that he's a multi-talented player. I think he can play shortstop, center field. And today you see he's pitching. Mm-hmm. So he's a multi-talented young man. So it'll be interesting to see where he settles in at. And I think that's a question that head coaches and people around him is going to have to decide where is his strength and where he best fit on a team.
And where he can most help a team when he gets to the next level. And Sean Moss steps in with 2 strikes.
Yeah, no question.
Straight away to center. And he gets under that ball. 2 outs. Davis tags up the score. So a nice sacrifice. You put another run on the board.
Another run on the board. That's 1 run farther that Team Cali is going to have to battle back from. And every run you get early is important. So you never can relax when the game is like this early in the game. You got a nice little breeze going. And I understand that Team Cali has some guys that can put the ball out of the yard too.
So Keon Holt steps in the box. Two outs, no one on. But North Carolina up 3-0 in the bottom of the first.
It's important that the kids now from Team Cali understands that the game has just started. They have a long ways to go, and they can't come in and thinking about making more than 1 or 2 runs at a time. They have to work 1 run at a time.
And good pitch there by Peyton Simmons. So the wind's been blowing out. It's blowing out again, as we can see right now, Mookie. Do you think that'll have any effect on the game?
Based on the way these guys swing the bat, and there's another, ball hitting the gap, it's a single. But yes, I think it could have an effect. These guys are strong. They can get some balls out there. So it may have an effect, but there again, it depends on the pitching. How fatigued is the pitching, and what depth do they have?
So getting down to deep into the lineup, Patrick Nasudo steps in for North Carolina. 1 on, 2 outs, up 3-0 in the bottom of the first.
I'm quite sure that the coaches of Team Cal did not want this to happen for the pitcher that they're throwing this many pitches in the first inning. There again, like I said, I don't know how deep they are, but I'm quite sure that this, no matter how many pitches you got, you don't want to see this happen.
And you don't want to start thinking about how you're going to manage, your bullpen. As Holt gets caught stealing, he hesitated on that one, but it gets Team Cali out of the inning.
Yes.
So after 1, North Carolina's up 3-0.
It's India Lawson for TEM Video, and we are here with the Greensboro Aggie coach, Coach Fair. How are you feeling?
It's hot, but I feel good. Thank you.
You got a lot to be proud of right now. So what's been the momentum for your team right now?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, they got excited. They said, Coach, what if we get together a team? Will you be willing to coach? I said, sure. So a couple of weeks ago, they got inspired. They started working hard and just said, look, let's go out there and win it.
So what would you do differently, if anything, for this year so far, for the next Classic?
Bring cooler clothing. Now, other than that, nothing differently. I wanted the kids to have an opportunity to come up here. Not only about playing baseball, they had a lot of good speakers at the panel, the symposium. So our kids were able to listen to some former pros, some Hall of Famers, and learn a lot of things. So I was happy about that, as well as being able to come and play some baseball.
So what was your inspiration for becoming a coach for the league?
I played at a historically black university. I played at Shaw University. After college, I decided I wanted to teach. I taught a year and decided, hey, I wanted to go teach on the collegiate level. So I got my credentials in order. So I'm a full-time college professor, but I come back to the high school. I've been at this particular high school 11 years, so I come and give back to them because I want them to make sure they have the opportunity. It's rough out there. We're losing enough to the streets as it is. So I knew I wanted to come back and help.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job. You guys have got a great game going on. Have a safe trip back and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to action here in Richmond, Virginia. Start of the second inning. North Carolina up over Team Cali 3-0. Jalen Davis on the hill after helping his own cause in the bottom half of the first.
Yeah, but you have to wonder when guys are running around like this as pitchers is what you're going to have left in your legs.
Right. So Davis gets up, evens it out 1-1 to Bradley Young. And gets him swinging there.
Man, that's a nice little slider right there. So these guys have, they have something in their arsenal, and we just got to see how long they can hold it together.
The 1-2 pitch, and the breaking ball is sitting them down.
Nice slider. I had trouble with that one. That was a nice slider. The location was good. It's very good. I'm impressed.
So 1 batter, 1 K to start the second as Kashka Dudley steps in for Team Cali. What I'm noticing here with these batters early is just how different, everybody's stance is different, but where they are in the box. You saw Young was deep in the box. Yeah. He wanted to wait on the ball. But you got some guys who are right up front and want to get on top of it.
Yeah, it's about, philosophy, hitting philosophy, and coaching staff had a lot to do with that. It's the old theory that if guys have trouble breaking balls, you move up in the box, and if not, you move back in the box as fastball. So, it's just a matter of philosophy.
So 1-1 pitch to Dudley, a little outside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
I'm a firm believer. As long as you can see that ball, the better. Get as far back as I possibly can.
And during your career, did you crouch the plate? Were you farther away? How did you want to approach it?
No, I probably pretty much stayed off the plate as much as I can because I wanted to get my arms extended as much. I did not like that ball crowding me too much, and I took my chance with the ball away.
Okay. So 2-2 pitch. And another strikeout for Davis. The breaking pitch seems to just be freezing batters.
Well, I think that Davis is throwing a pitch that's a little bit different from what they're probably accustomed to. As we know, Davis is definitely a college, type pitcher. So he has some stuff that these guys probably haven't seen. A guy throwing this type of breaking ball with the control. He's putting that slider right on the outside part of the plate, and that's a tough pitch to handle at any level.
So Darian Evans steps into the box and looks at a ball from Davis, who's working efficiently. 2 up, 2 down.
Efficiently, and he's working fast, so.
Oh. That one just foul.
Almost clipped the umpire.
Had to do a little ballet there.
Yeah, but there again, he threw a fastball right there, and I don't care how good your breaking ball is. Every pitcher, you pitch us off your fastball. Whether your fastball is 82 and 92, you pitch off your fastball. And that's what he's doing right here now. And now he got him with the fastball. He's a little late on it. Does he come back with a fastball again, or does he go to his bread and butter pitch? It's been that slider so far.
So 1-1, 2 outs. Oh. And Evans watches that one.
Yeah. That looked like it was probably supposed to be a slider that just kind of got away from him.
So he was setting him up for something off speed. And Chopper back to the mound. Davis makes a throw the first, and 3 up, 3 down. North Carolina gets out of the top half of the second with no damage done. So we go to the bottom half. North Carolina up 3 up, 3-0.
Yes. Oh.
So welcome to Richmond, Virginia. We're at the Diamond covering the Metropolitan Junior Baseball League 19 and under championship game. I'm Mike McCray with Mookie Wilson. Yeah. And Mookie, what have you seen so far that's sort of inspiring about what these kids have going into the next level?
What I'm seeing so far is, and I'm impressed with the intelligence of these kids and the ability to perform on the field. They're athletes, but still, baseball is a game where you have to put your athleticism together with the knowledge of the game. And these kids seem to have an idea of what they want to do. So right now, we just got to see how long they can hold it together.
And for teams like this, you have guys that are already in college, guys that are in high school. For those high school players, does it help to have, older players on this team that can tell them this is what you have to prepare for at the next level?
Well, I don't think at this level and at this point in time that these guys can give instructions or information that can help you, because a lot of these guys that are in college, they've just gotten it, so they're just out of high school. But it does help the high school player to play against tougher competition because it does prepare them for this is what I have to be able to do at the next level. They're on the team, so that means they've handled it so far.
Right.
So let's see how much farther they can do and what else they have left to contribute to the teams.
So the team from Greensboro up 3 runs to none going into the bottom of the second half. We're going to see if the guys from Oakland can do anything to stop them.
Well, at this point, I think that Greensboro, they have the advantage right now, but it's a long game. This game has a long ways to go, and I see that at the beginning of the broadcast is it's going to depend on how well the pitcher can hold up. There's a lot of fatigue going on out there. These guys have been playing all week, and I'm quite sure every team don't have 10 pitchers. So let's see what happens.
And speaking of pitchers, a new one on the hill already for Team Cali.
Well, I think that there again, that's probably a result of the fatigue. I don't, maybe this kid probably pitched a couple of innings the day before, and we didn't know what he had left. Maybe he just wanted to get an inning out of him. Who knows?
Oh, is that who's throwing pitches?
Number 25. Who is it? Park?
So as we start the bottom of the second, new pitcher in for Team Cali is okay. So Joshua Pig on the mound now for Team Cali. He moves over. And gets up quickly, 0-2.
You have to wonder where does this guy really stands or sits on in terms of the pitching staff that they have.
Mm-hmm. So Patrick Nisduo sits down on that one. He just sort of.
I'm looking at a very good arm.
Right.
With good arm speed, ball movement. And the velocity looks very good, so maybe this guy's just been one of the better pitchers and just, he maybe pitched a lot,
So one out as Rick Powell steps into the box for North Carolina, and new pitcher Joshua Pig throws another strike. He's not playing around.
No, he seems to be zoned in right there. I mean, but when you have and you are fatigued, I think the key there is to throw strikes and minimize your pitch count.
Pig's trying to get it down there. I mean, we're not seeing anything break.
I'll be very curious to know what his velocity is right now.
Mm-hmm.
His arm speed looks good. His body seems to be in control. It looks like he has the size to be a pitcher.
So 0-2 to Rick Powell. 1 out already for North Carolina in the bottom of the second. And a great catch. Did he make the catch?
Yes, he did.
So 2 outs. Yeah. And Team Cali's got a little momentum here in the bottom.
They got a little momentum. Getting outs right now is important. He threw a nice little breaking ball right there, and he kind of pulled it, but it's a nice play by the left fielder. Getting outs, and he is throwing with minimal pitches right now. If you can keep this up and keep the score right where it is right now, this team can really get back into this game. And
there's got to be some confidence going into the third if you can get Eric Kimber out right now, and he's in the box right now for North Carolina.
But this kid he's also a pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him pitch. It's very nice.
Old school with the socks, with the stirrups.
Yeah.
You don't see those anymore.
No, you don't. You don't see that anymore. Their kids won't, pants be under their shoe,
right?
The heels, and it's about style.
Right.
It's about style. Now, I'm not against style. Okay, I'm not against style.
So 2 balls, no strikes to Kimber. 3-0.
Yeah, Pigs is really, he seems to be up there with a little bit of, he has a little mound presence, as we call it.
Right.
He has a little presence on the mound. And we just see if he can keep Team Cali right where they are and kind of corral these North Carolina bats a little bit and
Right.
give them a chance to put a run on the board. That will work. One run.
So 3-1 is always an interesting scenario. What do you like to see hitters do when it's 3-1 as Kimber gets the walk there?
It depends on the hitter.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a hitter that can, drive a double, look for a fastball. If you're pacing enough, look for a fastball and try to hit a double. Don't go looking to hit a single. If you're a guy that, has good speed, a walk just as good as a double. So it depends on the hitter.
So Cologne steps into the box with 1 on, 2 outs, and, he led the game off with a triple that turned into a score on a pass ball.
Yes, and that's just more, but I think it's going to be a little different here. This pitcher has a little more to offer.
And no waiting around there. Strike 1.
Best pitch in baseball. First pitch strike. First pitch strike. It cuts a lot of things.
It has to help to start a little ahead every time,
Well, it gives you room to play with. Now you can kind of manipulate the thought process of the hitter a little bit. But when you're down, 0-1, 0-2, you eliminate pitches, and that gives the hitter the advantage.
So Pig checks on Kimber at first. Count is 1-1, 2 outs here. North Carolina up 3-0. But this inning, things have changed with Pig on the mound. That pitch is down.
Now, this first pitch was strike. Now, it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Now that momentum shifts. Now the runner even has an advantage also, as well as the hitter. So.
And pitching a little low. I have to wonder how much Pig is worried about the runner right now, because it seems like he's moving.
And young pitchers really have they're too concerned about the runners and just concentrate. You got 2 outs, concentrate on the hitter.
And Cologne straight to the third baseman. So Cali gets out of the inning, no damage done, and they have to have some confidence going into the top of the third that they can get, back in this game.
When you're down in a ball game, the key is put zeros on the board. And that's what Pace came up there, put some zeros on the board, and to give his team an opportunity to come up and at least get a run. 1 run would mean a world of difference to this Cal team.
So no runs, no hits, no errors as we go to the top of the third. North Carolina up over Team Cali 3-0.
TEM takes you backstage where there's no detailed overlooked. We pay attention to all the little things that gives your event the razor's edge for success. TEM.
So back to action in Richmond at the Diamond. I know this is a minor league ballpark, home to the Flying Squirrels. I mean, what is it like to get an opportunity to play on a field like this, for kids?
Well, the kids are impressed. I know when I grew up, this being on a stadium was enough to get the adrenaline going. And if I was a little tired, I didn't feel it anymore. And I think that these kids, they feel like they've earned to be in the spotlight. And this is what this is for them. This is generally, truly a World Series for them. That's what it is.
So with the championship on the line, Riley Simmons steps in to start the third inning for Team Cali.
Not to mention, it's a little bit of history between these two teams. They've faced each other before in a championship game, so,
First pitch from Davis. Doesn't break enough to get over the plate. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, I didn't like the way that pitch was thrown right there. I mean, the first pitch of the inning, you up 3 runs, you throw just a little lazy breaking ball.
And Simmons puts that one in play. Oh, almost dicey. Shortstop makes the catch.
Yeah, very nice play by the shortstop. And he's an athlete. He's an athlete, and I think he's another college player who's already committed to a college. So, he's out here just trying to improve. That will help his college team in his career.
So you talked about Davis's first pitch. I mean, is that a pitch you can make when you're up 3 runs,
Yeah, you can when you're up 3 runs, you have some room, some wiggle room there. You can try some things. So if I throw it for a strike, fine. If I don't, okay, big deal. If I make a mistake, big deal. But, I would like to know his thought process.
So first pitch strike to Cameron Jones. One down for Team Cali, and North Carolina looks comfortable. Even on defense, they haven't seen a lot of action, but they're chatty. They're at least, keeping each other engaged.
Yeah, but there's a very confident team. Let's say I watched them play yesterday, and they played a very good team yesterday. It was a very good ball game, and they are very confident in what they can do.
And when you beat good teams, as this play goes to the second baseman.
Now, that's a situation where the second baseman right there, just let the ball play him. He was backing up as opposed to coming and getting the ball on the big hop. Play back, it's an easy play, taking too much for granted. But baseball is a crazy game, man. It doesn't know you. It doesn't know it's an easy play. So I know he's kicking himself because it's a very easy play.
You saw the camaraderie there between Team Cali and North Carolina. They're rivals, but, at the end of the day, it's all baseball, and I'm sure Team Cali's happy to have a man on base.
Oh, it's all in fun, even with, the trash talking and stuff, but they got a man on base right now, and there's an opportunity for them to do something.
So that's a first pitch strike to Watson, the shortstop who's already at Napa Valley College. And he diving back at first.
But, I love seeing players dive back because two things. It helps them stretch their leads, and it also shows their aggressiveness.
So Rupert Watson, the shortstop in the box here. He looks at a ball.
Now, understand, this is the first time, too, now we've seen Davis pitch with a man on base. So let's see how he responds to that.
And the second time through the order, I mean, they should have a feel for what he's been doing.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see the Cali hitters settle in and be a little more patient. They came out swinging at first.
Well, I'm more interested to see how comfortable Davis is going to be pitching from the stretch. Didn't affect them right there on that pitch.
Another strike by Davis. But it seems like Cali is content with letting him throw a little more pitches this inning instead of going after those first two like they have been.
Yeah, I think that would be wise at this point. We need base runners.
And he checks on Jones again at first. I like his move to first.
He's quick. He has quick feet, and that's the key to having a good pickoff move is quick feet. I think that it's a great teaching.
And right back at him.
It's no question he seems to be a little concerned about that base runner. Probably a little more concerned than he should be at the point.
Oh, that pitch. Watson is down again, and he was all screwed up on that one.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a breaking ball that didn't break. Well, he was looking for one, but it didn't break. It didn't move. It was inside. He couldn't hit that pitch anyway.
So Tyrone Bowie steps up. He also at Contra Costa College in California. 2 outs for Team Cali, but a man on first, and that's a positive sign for them to have a.
Oh, look like we have some bats on the field.
Weather not too bad for this game at all.
It's a great day. We really were expecting some rain, but evidently it's broken up.
And down the line, that ball is fair. Yeah. So Cameron's trucking it around. So runners on second and third with 2 outs after the double by Tyrone Bowie. And the pitcher we saw, Joshua Pigg, steps into the plate. He bats third in the lineup for them. And this could be a big at-bat for Team Cali.
This could be a big at-bat. And I'll say it because if he gets a hit and drives in a run and he's going back on the mound, you might see a different pitcher too.
So Pig in, seeing if he can help his own cause against Jalen Davis, who, got through the first 2 innings unscathed, but runners threatening here.
But sometimes even if you don't score, is that you present the opportunity, and that gives you a little momentum going and say, okay, we can get to this guy.
Strike there from Davis.
I think it's a breaking ball inside, which is a very tough pitch for a left-hand hitter to handle that ball coming down in towards his ankles.
And Pig is still at Franklin High School, so chopper to the second baseman. With the pick, North Carolina's out of the inning.
Oh, they got out of the inning, but second baseman, but boy, he didn't want to throw it. You got to throw it. You got to throw it. Good job.
So Cali threatens, but no runs scored. North Carolina up 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the third here in the MJBL 1900 championship game.
India Laughlin for TE and Video, and we are here with Coach Jackson. So how are you feeling today? How has your season been?
It's been a great season. We prepared the kids for this tournament, for the Black World Series here back in Richmond, Virginia. The Black World Series really started from here, from Coach Bill Foster, his daddy, and he did it before because of black kids wasn't allowed to play in the minority tournaments. So he formed his own tournament here in Richmond to allow all the kids, inner city kids, to play baseball in their hometown, or also traveling. We had traveled from Florida, Orlando, Florida, Greensboro, North Carolina, Orlando. We went also to Las Vegas this year, and it was a wonderful experience for the kids to have an opportunity to see other guys of their age group competing and play baseball.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Jackson, for everything you do for the league. It's well appreciated, and I'm sure you'll keep going and going and going in the league until you can't go anymore.
Yes, I was. It's a wonderful experience. I haven't seen anything like it in a long time. So let's keep it going, and let's keep it alive, and let's do it for the children.
There you go. Thank you so much, Coach Jackson. Back to the game.
Thanks a lot to India Laughlin down in the stands talking to fans here. And the turnout, I mean, to see how this tournament has grown is just impressive.
I love the turnout. I love the way the fans have responded. The communities have really gotten behind these kids. We have families that travel with these kids, and today's economy, and for this to happen, and it's a great. I tip my hats to the sponsors who's also donated money to know that sports is a big part of our youth growing up and the maturing of them, developing their character. And, you get scholarships and end up making it to the pros. That's just icing on the cake.
Right.
But to help develop these kids in their character and expose them to, other parts of the countries and cultures and stuff is invaluable.
And even for the kids who, don't make it to the professional ranks, they've got it instilled in them that someone helped them develop, and they want to do the same in their own communities.
That's what it's all about, people helping people.
So bottom of the third here, Team North Carolina up 3-0. Joshua Pigg on the mound for Team Cali again. This is his second inning. We'll see if he's a little more comfortable there, but he looked in command his first inning on the mound.
It's essentially to see how he keeps going.
And a strike there.
Pitchers come out in the start innings, and it's that sitting time between innings, and you have to worry, can they get that same momentum back? Can they get that same feel when they go back out there?
So Nin Marrero in, 1-1 pitch to him.
I think in the first inning, he hit that ground ball to third baseman that made the great dive and play, and then pulled the first baseman off the bag. So, he hit the ball very well, but it's a great play against him. So he had a good at-bat.
And my eyes could be deceiving, but he seems like a taller kid, and, I wonder how that affects him in the box.
That would be different. Sometimes, the guy on the mound, the height, it does play a difference. It makes a difference.
And swinging there, so Nin Marrero is the first out in the bottom of the third. And the pitcher, Jalen Davis, is up again. And we saw what he did. We've seen what he's done on the mound, and we saw what he's done at the plate. He's got the tools to do a lot of different things for you. He
has the tools, and I watched this kid play yesterday, and he had 4 at-bats, and I tell you, every at-bat where he hit the ball as well as you can hit the ball. It was very, very rare.
And in summer ball, you're working to get better. You like to see quality at-bats from all the players, especially when you're focusing on something to get improved on, and if you're making sure every at bat counts, it's got to be good.
That's the key, and I think that you understand that it's serious.
And he's swinging there.
I don't think he wanted a single right there.
Right. he sees the flag post blowing out, and he was trying to make a ball go there. So 1-1 with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. That foul ball goes over our heads. Yeah. But Pigg seems like he's ready to face the challenge.
I am really impressed with what he's done so far in the first inning and now at the beginning of this inning. He seems to be in command of himself, his emotions, and there again, I'm just curious to see what velocity he has and what kind of movement that ball really has.
And this Team Cali team, of course, from Northern California, Oakland, to be specific. So they traveled a long way here to Richmond today, and I'm sure they want to win and get right back in this game right now.
I mean, it's a long way to come over to lose,
right?
But, you know,
right. So 2-2 pitch to Davis, and he puts it in play. Diving stop by the second baseman, but the throw pulls the first baseman off the bag. I mean, he kept it in the infield, and you have to be happy about that.
You're happy about that. The kid, the effort just to knock the ball down. You know, when you dive for a baseball like that, you know, chances are you're not going to get up and throw a guy out that's an athlete like Davis is right there. You're not going to throw him out. But just the effort of knocking the ball down, they didn't say, oh, well, I'm not going to get it.
Right.
The effort, you appreciate it.
And speaking of style, Davis's socks, the socks up on first base.
I like it. I like it.
So Brandon Burke steps into the box now for North Carolina. 1 out, 1 on, bottom of the third, and that breaking pitch from Pig was nice. We haven't seen many of those from him today, but
no, his fastball's been good enough, and I've seen him throw a couple of sliders that has missed. But you know, the velocity on his fastball seems to have good movement.
Inside there, and then speaking of, he seems unconcerned with runners most of the time. He seems pretty unfazed by it.
Yeah, I think that some, you know, if you're not accustomed to pitching, you become maybe more concerned about your runners and stuff.
And Davis goes.
Yeah.
Burks misses, but Davis is in with the base.
Just nice throw by the catcher, you know. But there go Pigs wasn't overly concerned about, you know, the runner. He knows the guy with the bat is when it's going to hurt him.
Right, so Brandon Burke swings on that one, but you got to like the aggressiveness of having to hit and run on with a lead. You know, they're looking to pad that a little bit.
Well, I think they realize that it's going to be an offensive game, or they're expecting an offensive game. You know, so every run you can get now is one you don't have to get later.
So Burks, I mean, the fourth spot in your batting lineup, you expect some offense from him as he's 2-2 now with 1 out, but Davis in scoring position now.
Yeah. You know, Burks has an interesting story. You know, I understand that he was like one of the top linebackers.
Oh, wow.
You know, in high school, and he broke his collarbone. And so they didn't think he was going to play football again, or baseball for that matter. He ended up coming back to play baseball. So, interesting story.
So full count. And Burke stays in there. You got to fight him off when it's full. You can't watch when it's full.
No, that was a breaking pitch that was up. There again, you know, I think that's a high slider, you know, that just got a little bit out of the zone. And, you know, I like him mixing up his pitches. You know, something off his fastball will help him dramatically at this age, a change up.
So full count, and that breaking ball nearly fools him, but he gets it in play and just foul.
Smart play on the pitcher's part to let that ball go foul. You don't have to make every play. And that's another thing about the intelligence, you know, of these kids. You know, now you would expect that kid to try to grab that ball and make a crazy throw to first base, and now everybody's scoring. But he knew he didn't have a chance, let the ball trickle foul. It's only foul by inches, but it's just the intelligence of him allowing that ball to go foul.
And you talk about Pig's mound presence, and now you see him mixing it up with pitches. I mean, he's getting more and more comfortable out there.
It's no question, you know.
So full count to Burks, and that one, all right, the walk. So 2 on for North Carolina, but Pig, I mean, I hope he doesn't take that one to heart. But
no, I think, you know, just a situation like that, he's probably just, you know, trying to overthrow that particular fastball. But it's about, you know, location. It's about location. It's not about velocity all the time, particularly in a situation when it's like a 3-2 count. We need to make him hit the baseball.
So Sean Moss in the box for North Carolina, and he's swinging first pitch. That's a strike. 2 on for them, 1 out. And I guess we'll see if Pig has a double play ball in him.
Yeah, let's see if he does have a double play. I mean, you know, if he keeps the ball down, he has a chance. But if it's going to be up, you're looking at another fly ball.
Moss again swinging.
I give him credit for coming right after the hit, after walking the batter. He's coming 2 quick strikes. Now he has some room that he can do some things. Maybe his, you know, slider down and in. If he strikes him out, fine. If he misses, no problem. And he can always come back to his fastball.
And I like to see him taking his time and collecting himself before he throws that pitch. I mean, he's not, just rushing because he feels pressure to. He's circling the mound. He's getting comfortable.
Get your thoughts in order.
So 0-2 pitch to Moss, swinging and just foul down the line.
Yep. That's that pitch that we'll say this little breaking ball, but he got it up a little bit. You got to get that ball down.
And Davis was already around third. He was hustling as he goes back to second base.
Oh, yeah, there's no way he's going to catch it. So, and that's good base running. He knows where the outfielders are. He knows that ball's not going to be caught. You don't have to wait for the ball to hit the ground.
And that's Keon Holt on deck after Sean Moss. So 0-2, 1 out, 2 on for North Carolina. And the Aggies here, a nod to their Greensboro, North Carolina roots. That pitch is in the outfield over the left fielder's head, and Davis comes around to score. You see Burks hustling home, and Moss is in with a triple, standing up. 2 more runs on the board for North Carolina, and the Aggies are out here offensively for real.
Man, he hit the ball very well, but that ball was misplayed by the left fielder. Mm-hmm. It should have been an easy out, and still have a runner on first and second with 2 outs, and now as a result of the misjudged ball, you have 2 runs scored and a runner on third base, and that's now that could be a backbreaker for a pitcher.
And Moss, I mean, he hasn't seen many balls. He's come up aggressively, but with his sac fly scoring around, and now that triple scoring too, he's been an RBI machine for the Aggies early today.
Yeah, he's swung the bat well.
So Keon Holt in now, man on third, 1 out, and that's a strike from Pig.
And let's see how Pigs handle a little adversity in this area.
And as a pitcher, how big of a blow is it to have? Coming home, and Moss gets in there.
Yeah. A squeeze play was on. Batter missed the ball, and the catcher misses the ball also. Mm-hmm. So but he's down. I hope he's not injured.
Right, and the umpire's calling out coaches. So we'll see what Grant Parks, how he's feeling. He's shaking it off, but
yeah, that might be more of a little pride thing right there than actually being injured. You miss a ball that was bunted through, and you miss it, and the runner scores on a blown squeeze play. It's a gutsy play, but you add another run, so it's a good move on the North Carolina team to go ahead and put it on. Mm-hmm. Catcher just kind of, I think, took his eyes off the ball.
And how unexpected is that, to have that man coming flying towards you, towards home plate?
Yeah, the squeeze play, once the guy squares around, you have to anticipate that the runner is on the move because there's no reason for him to bunt otherwise. Mm-hmm. And I think that he probably knew that something was on. He just took his eyes off the baseball, probably looked for the run.
Right, and when the pitcher's on the mound and he sees that, a lot of times it's coming out of your hand. You can only do so much. So that pitch ended up in the dirt, and I think it's because Pig sort of saw it coming. Yeah,
and that's the thing is once that play is on, if the play is executed, there's nothing you can do. You just got to, make the play, make the pitch, and then hope that everything else falls into place.
So Grant Parks looks fine. He's staying in the game, and Keon Holt still in the box. 1 out for the Aggies, but they've put 3 runs on the board here in the third. And you talked about defense earlier. I mean, as a pitcher, how big of a blow is it to have, outs that you feel like are yours just slip away from you?
Well, what it does is it forces pitchers, particularly young pitchers, to now try to do too much. Mm-hmm. I try to strike hitters out and pitching to miss bats. And normally that causes a lot of problems. Now you're throwing balls off the plate, you start overthrowing, because you don't trust the defense behind you. It's tough. Now, if he continues to throw the ball as well as he's throwing it, you just have to trust your guys behind you.
So 2 outs now as Holt gets struck out and then a throw out there, and you have Patrick Nisduo in for the Aggies. He looked to bunt as well, and Nisduo was a strikeout victim to Pig earlier. Mm-hmm.
He's still throwing the ball well. He's throwing the ball well.
And that wind shifted a little bit. It's not blowing straight out anymore. It's
blowing across a little bit now. You're going to have to hit it to left field, to get any kind of carry. So Some guys hit the ball well here, but this is a little bigger ballpark.
So 3 straight balls in this duo. And a walk on 4 straight balls. Pig losing some of his command here. And do you think part of that is because, he feels like he should be out of this inning by now?
Yeah, it's no question about it. He's thrown well. He's threw some good pitches. The fly ball, to left field should have been caught. The box squeeze played it, should have been out. So he's throwing the ball well. So frustration is going to set in. These young men out here, and they can't quite keep their emotions, contained all the time.
So Rick Powell steps into the box. 2 outs, 1 man on. North Carolina's already had 3 cross the plate for them this inning, and they're looking to get a bit more even with 2 outs.
Even with 2 outs, you have your foot on the throats right now. Let's go for the kill. And that's what they're trying to do.
So another ball there from Pig, and the bottom of this lineup for the Aggies has been surprising. I know usually that's where you stash your hitters who aren't quite, as offensively capable. That's that pass ball.
Yeah, they seem to be having a little trouble right now. There seems to be a little bit of
and this duo goes to third as that pitch goes in the outfield, and he's going to come around to score.
There seems to be a little bit of miscommunication between the catcher and the pitcher right here right now. They can't seem to get on the same page. I don't know if they're crossing each other up, but the catcher's not handling the pitchers from Pigs right now. Pitches that, if not catchable, at least block the balls.
Right. And it all comes back to focus. Another run crosses the plate just because, players are discouraged right now.
Yeah, and now you're trying to do things, you're trying to pull rabbits out of your hat now. Throwing the ball from the screen to second base. I'm 60 years old. I can still get to third base on that one.
So another pitch outside, and the count moves to 3-0. 2 outs still, but the Aggies get another run across to make it 7-0 over Team Cali. And that's a strike.
They're going to have to, have a conference and get themselves back together and get back to playing sound baseball.
And are you surprised this catcher hasn't gone out to talk to him in between this?
No, I'm not surprised right now. The pitcher really hasn't done anything wrong. It's not like he's walking the bases drunk and stuff like that. Like I say, he should be out of the game. Maybe the coach should have, tried to settle him down, but it's not a whole lot that the catcher can do at this point. It's not like he's throwing ball after ball after ball, even though he just walked the bat.
And we see Watson, the shortstop, come out and say a couple words to him to try to keep his pitcher encouraged. They have 2 outs here. They can get out of this inning right here. And Eric Kimber steps into the box for North Carolina. That's a strike. A good one. We haven't seen that fastball go just, free somebody in a while.
Not in a while.
So 1 man on, 2 outs. Bottom of the 3rd inning here in Richmond. Way inside there.
Yeah, he lost a little bit of his momentum. I think that he's a little confidence maybe. He needs an out. They need an out right now so they can kind of get in the dugout and regroup.
And that's, 2 errors this inning on
2
them?
errors, yep.
So 2 errors this inning. They could have been out of this inning almost unscathed, especially in the outfield. You have somebody leaping.
No question they could have been out of this inning with no runs. But as a result, what, he got 4? And that's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow.
So the runner goes, and he gets in there, and that another ball ends up in the outfield.
Yeah.
And that's a pinch runner, Kevin Murphy.
Yeah.
On for North Carolina.
It appears the catcher wants a conference.
And then the first baseman's out too, so they talk things over. Another runner's in scoring position, 2 outs.
Yeah.
They've had 2 outs for a while now. I mean,
yes.
Steve Callie's had them on the ropes. They just haven't been able to knock them out and get out of this inning.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there, and they just, defensively, they're really abandoning the pitcher right now, so they just got to stay together. The game is not over. The game is not over. And
it's good to see a smile on Pig's face to know that, his team is, still behind him. He looks a little more confident at the plate. And as a coach, what is it like to see, your players be able to pick up their teammates without you having to go there and be the guiding hand?
Well, that's good. I mean, at least he's still throwing the ball well. Say, hey, it's not your fault, man. You're doing your job. We'll do better. We're going to have to do better. You just keep doing what you're doing. And a little encouragement from his teammates. It's got to make him feel good to say, hey, okay, they realize that I'm not, it's not me. I'm doing my job.
So the count runs full on Eric Kimber. Two outs, a man on second, and 4 runs already across the plate for North Carolina as Kimber fouls that one off.
But North Carolina is not feeling sorry for Cali right about now.
At all. They're still coming up with some lively bats ready to go here.
Yeah.
And this rest has to help Davis, who was working extremely fast.
Oh, yeah, it does. I mean, it has to. You have a 7-run lead and you long inning.
So that pitch in the dirt. And Murphy takes third on the walk. And they're catching Grant Parks sleeping behind the plate. I think they picked out something's going on.
Well, he's hesitating on the last throw to second base. I noticed that he really hesitated on throwing the ball. Now, if he comes up throwing, the guy's out by a couple steps. But just by hesitating allowed. It still was a close play, but I don't know if the coverage is not there, in time, or he is just not focusing on the runners being out there.
So runners on the corners, 2 outs. And the man on first is going. That throw there, but the runner ends safely. Yeah. So runners on second and third now. And ever since, Parks made that dive and stop at the plate to try to stop the run, and it was shaken up a little bit, it seemed to rattle his focus, and, it's permeated through, throwing errors and movement here.
Yeah, he seems to have to throw the ball well. He seems to be throwing the ball well. He's just slow getting it there.
So that pitch, Cologne fouls that one off. And my man on second was hustling. He was ready.
They're off to the races, man. They're not slow at all.
Wasted no time, Eric Kimber did getting the third as he walked back. So runners on second and third, 2 outs, 0-2 pitch. Cologne wisely tells this man to stick around.
Yeah. I think yesterday probably, showed them because they jumped off to a really big lead yesterday. And the team from Chicago came back on them, Then they added more runs on, but I think they realized that this team is not going to just
check
fold.
Swing, strikeout, and Pig gets out of the inning, but damage is done. 4 runs, 2 errors, and as we go to the top of the 4th inning, North Carolina's up 7-0 over Team Cali.
Yes.
We have 4 children, 3 cats, a dog, a bird, and a bunny. So there are a lot of mouths to feed. And dinner time can be a little hectic because when they're hungry, they're hungry. And with such a large family and being on a single income, we have to save money. And that's why we shop at Martin's. They have the bonus buys and the fuel perks that help me save more. When I look at my receipt and see the savings, I realize we just couldn't do it without them.
I'm Jamie Town, and I get the most for my money at Martin's.
So we start the top of the 4th here in Richmond, the MJBL 19 and under championship game. Jalen Hill still on the hill. Jalen Davis on the hill for North Carolina.
Jalen Hill, all right.
So Jalen Davis still on the hill for North Carolina. He's got a 7-run cushion, and Grant Parks is in the box right now for Team Cali.
Yes.
Maybe he can find a little redemption here, in the box.
Yeah. This is time for them to really, understand where they are right now. Not going to get back in with one swing of the bat. They're going to have to make the pitcher work, and they got to take what their North Carolina team is going to be giving them.
And Davis sort of reminded me of Mark Burley now with how fast he's working. When he gets the ball back in his hands, he's locked and loaded and ready to go right back to the catcher.
Pitchers are rhythm performers. They like pitching in a rhythm, and in doing anything that knocked him out of that rhythm. And I thought maybe sit the long inning probably would have, slowed him down a little bit. But evidently he's trying to, stick with the same rhythm he's had so far this game.
So the strikeout again to start the inning for Davis, and that the long inning just let him rest up for that breaking ball that they've done nothing with today.
They haven't done nothing, and he's done a great job with his breaking ball, and his fastball, predominantly more breaking balls, and that's rather unusual, to throw this many breaking balls with the consistency that he's throwing it.
With some accuracy. I mean,
yes, it's been very, very good, and I mean, that's a tough pitch to hit at any level,
So in the box now for Team Cali is Bradley Young, and he's been a victim to Davis's breaking ball already.
That's another one right there. And it looks like he's throwing two different breaking balls.
Right.
And the one's more like a slider, and the other has more depth to it.
Right.
And I think that's confusing the hitters.
So one's breaking in the zone, another's breaking away from the plate, like you saw that one, and it's just like, well, what do you do? Because they're looking the same coming out of his hand.
Yeah, and that's the key. That he's not tipping it one way or the other.
So Young down 1-2 already, and as a hitter, do you do anything to throw off his rhythm, like call time, just step out of the box, do whatever you can to sort of get him out of the groove he's in on the mound?
You can do that, but the kid just sat in the bench for half an hour, so I don't think that's going to work.
So 1-2 pitch to Young, and he looks at that one. 2-2, one out in the top of the fourth, and North Carolina's done a great job of getting that first out, getting that first strike, just starting with a little momentum when they come out of the dugout during innings.
Yeah, and that's important.
Oh, and that pitch just floated.
and there again, it was a high. He sees the spin, but he's not quite sure what it's going to do. It's more like a flat. We call it slurve. It's like between a curveball and a slider, and they see it and they just cannot adjust to it. And
so 2 straight Ks for Davis, and you see the frustration showing on the Cali side. As a coach, you have to sort of keep them together on that. So Kashka Dudley steps in, and he's also, been a strikeout victim earlier today, and a first pitch strike to him. Yeah, well, he was, called out on strikes looking, and it's been that breaking ball. That breaking ball has been this trouble. And a chopper to the shortstop, he makes the play. So 1, 2, 3. I mean, North Carolina's hardly in the field, and they keep that 7-run lead and look to add more to it. That's not good. That's not good for Cali. So no runs, no hits, 2 strikeouts for Jalen Davis as we go to the bottom of the fourth. North Carolina up 7-0 in the MJBL 19 and under championship game. Yes. All right, Mike McCray here with Mookie Wilson again. And, if you're the coach of the California team right now, what do you say to them to keep them engaged in this game? I mean, there's still a lot left to play on, but, you couldn't accomplish anything offensively there coming off an inning where you probably really needed to be picked up offensively. So with the rest of this game, still sitting out there, what words would you have to sort of keep them engaged? Well, make no mistake, the coach knows where his team is. He knows his team is down 7 runs. And I don't care how good an offensive club you are, 7 runs is a lot of runs to make up. But it's even more of a problem when the team is playing under control. The pitcher seems to have the game in hand. And now what do you tell your hitters to do now? You say, look, let's make him throw pitches. Let's do not get ourselves out. Do not try to hit the long ball. The guy's throwing a lot of breaking balls. We're going to have to just put the ball in play. They're taking big swings right now. Like if everyone's trying to hit a home run, that's the wrong approach. And coming back out onto the field now, I mean, after a sloppy defensive half, the last inning, what do you say going out on the field now? What little words do you leave them with? Is it focus? Is it what are the words to sort of say, all right, this inning is here, the last one's behind you. What can you do now to stop the bleeding? Well, and that's the key. The key word, we have to stop the bleeding. We have to stop giving them outs. In that last inning, they gave them 7 outs. You cannot give a good offensive club that many outs. So let's make the plays. Let's not try to do anything spectacular. The super plays will come by themselves. Let's make the plays and do what got us here. And Piggs out on the mound again. He's coming out for, they only got 1 inning out of Peyton Simmons. So Piggs has been settled into this role out of relief early on. And I feel like he's handled it well. He just hasn't been picked up by his defense. So in his case, is he hoping to be picked up, or is he, doing everything he can.
Well, I'm sure this is not the scenario that the coach wanted.
Right.
It's no question in my mind this is not what he wanted. There's no doubt that Pig's probably going to pitch in this game, but not this soon. I think that he's going to probably pitch in the latter half of the game, but at right now the coach wanted to stop the bleeding, so they brought probably his best pitcher in, and I would assume that Piggs is probably the best pitcher he had at this point in time. How much more he has? He's thrown the ball well. His defense has let him down.
And we worried about Jalen Davis burning out, but he's getting 1, 2, 3 on each end. He's he has some energy on the base path. He sat for so long, and at any point in time, does sitting that long ever have an effect on you?
The sitting has definitely an effect in pitching. When pitchers are training, this is one of the things that you train. They throw, then they go sit in the dugout for 15, 20 minutes, then come back out and pitch and sit in the dugout for 15 minutes, prepare them for this type of thing.
So we're in Richmond, starting the bottom of the 4th inning. And Pig is still on the hill for Team Cali. And then Marrero steps in the box. And, I mean, we're in the ballpark, the home of the Flying Squirrels in Richmond. And I feel like they've settled down to being in a minor league park with a big stadium. And now it's just, it's still baseball.
It's business now. I
Right.
mean, it's business now, and they've got to figure out the way how they're going to win this ball game and for Cali to get back in this ball game.
So 2-1 is the count. And you're right. I mean, Pig has shown some composure on the mound despite, the adversity he's seen. You just have to hope his teammates are just locked in enough to help him out a bit.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the way he's handled, the things that's happening. He's got 4 runs on the board that he shouldn't have.
Right.
But he's on the mound. He doesn't show frustration. Ooh, that's a close pitch.
That's a close pitch, and he walks the batter. But, I mean, Pig is one of the players that's still in high school, and he's not getting breaks. And you shouldn't expect breaks when you're down that much.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get breaks. I mean, right now you're going to have to fight your way back into this ball game. Don't expect the umpire to give you, it's a close pitch, I need this pitch. That's not going to happen.
So Jalen Davis steps into the box, and 1 man on, no outs for North Carolina. Already up 7, and they've been swinging all game long to add to that. First pitch strike from Pig, and I've noticed with Davis, he's going after him aggressively. He doesn't seem scared of what he can do.
No, I mean, Piggs pitches with an attitude, and he's not afraid to throw the ball. I mean, he's out of his zone a little bit, but that's just because of inconsistency and inexperience.
So that ball, ready-made double play. Oh, and the hesitation. So Cali gets the lead out, but first run is on.
Yeah. There again, Taylor made double play. Shortstop should have taken the ball by himself. But ground ball right there. Shortstop should have just taken the ball, step on the bag, and throw it. The next mistake was made was the second baseman grabbed the ball with his bare hand.
So, that with that pass ball, not only does Davis go first, but he takes second, and you had that lead runner out, but now you still have a runner in scoring position, and none of this is Pig's fault.
None. None. I mean, he did what he had to do. Walk the guy, gets a ground ball, Taylor made double play to shortstop, and then fielder there again, his defense, lets him down. You can't expect the kid to do much more than what he's doing.
And it comes back to focus as Brandon Burke steps into the box for North Carolina. Already up 7-0. They have 1 out, but a man in scoring position, and a fast man at that.
Yeah, and a fast man.
So Pig's first pitch in the dirt and another pass ball. Davis moves down to third, and he's coming big turn, like he was coming home. But you got a man on third now with 1 out, and you're behind in the count.
The catcher is having a very, very tough time handling Piggs. Maybe he's not accustomed to catching him, or he's just not picking the ball up. But it is very, very difficult. That ball, that ball's got to be caught or blocked.
So 1-0 to Burks, and it goes straight to the third baseman, who nearly gets the double play, but at least holds the runner on third. And that's an out that I think Cali really, really needed. And he throws that ball away. Pass ball, and Davis scores on that. So just, carelessness almost by Team Cali. You get the out and you just throw it away, and another run scores for North Carolina.
I mean, to me, that's just a lack of focus.
Right.
It's a lack of focus. You've thrown up the flag. You've thrown up the white flag, so, let's just get through this thing right now. That's the way it appears. You cannot do that when you're trying to fight back into the game.
And, you know, you have to credit North Carolina for being heads up on the base pass. They've taken advantage of every slight mistake Cali's made.
When you're winning, you are alert. You catch all that, you know. So I'm not surprised.
So Sean Moss steps into the box, and he's already got 3 RBIs today. Fouls that one off of his shin, looked like.
I mean, what you see North Carolina do right now, being, you know, very alert on the bases, it happened yesterday in the ball game. Base runner scored from third base when the opposing team failed to call a timeout.
Wow.
It was it's just the things you just don't see in young players being able to take advantage of it.
Right, and he's another one with the stirrups. You got to like that style. But for Team Cali, I mean, you said they hit a grand slam yesterday to come back in the game. So can you ever really count them out?
No. I've been in the game long enough to know that if this game is weird. Things can happen and turn in a hurry, and that's why I credit North Carolina for not letting that happen.
So Sean Moss 2-1, and he hits that one right up the middle. Single, solid single at that.
Yeah, he's swinging it back very, very well. When you're missing the ball up, he's been right on it. He's had trouble with the balls down. And the ball down and in, he's really had trouble with it. But that ball up in the zone, he's been banging it either to left center or like that one was a laser to center field.
So add a single to his triple and sac fly earlier today as Keon Holt steps into the box for North Carolina. Up 8-0 in the bottom of the fourth. But I was looking down and called time. I was like, is he all right? Yeah, he's all right. So sometimes the catcher's got to get itself situated.
Yeah, the catcher right now seems to be having a few issues. I'm not quite certain what those issues are. But he is definitely not catching the ball as well as I've seen him catch.
And he started strong. I mean, you saw the throws he made in the first inning, and it was like, all right, you might not be able to move on Grant Parks, but ever since that dust up at home plate, he's been a different player.
And I wonder if he's, did he hurt his wrist or something? Because he has not caught the ball very well. He's thrown the ball all right, but he has not caught the ball.
And that's what we saw him doing, was checking the tape on his wrist just now, to make sure he's all right. It's
interesting. These kids, they play hard, know, but we have to. They're still kids,
right?
They're still kids, and so.
And they've come so far, they don't want to be taken out of the game. Which, Grant Parks, it looked like he was not even listening to the idea of coming out when he.
They come too far to come out of the game, and I don't think they've given up. But they need something positive to happen. They need something positive.
So 2 outs and a man on, and Keon Holt looked like he was swinging for the fences there.
If I'm hitting right now, I'm gonna try to get me one.
I love that mentality. It's when you're winning big in a baseball game, everybody wants to get their one.
Let me go for it. If I'm gonna get one, I'm gonna get it right now.
So 1-1 pitch to Keon Holt, 2 outs, and checking on Moss at first is Pig. And again, I mean, I've liked what he's done. I mean, he's moving. He doesn't seem too phased by it, but he really needs his teammates to pick him up.
He needs his help from his teammates. He has thrown the ball well. He's under control.
He's thrown the ball well despite being put in as the chopper goes to third. Good scoop. And the throw to first gets Cali out of the inning.
Yes.
And, he's played well, especially in, a weird circumstance. I mean, how often do you bring in a relief pitcher after one inning?
Yeah, I mean, the coach has to be pleased with what he's done. As I say before, I have no doubt in my mind that he's brought him in somewhat sooner than he had planned. But he's in there now. He's done a good job, I think, of throwing strikes and giving his team an opportunity to make plays, and they just haven't done it.
So after 4, North Carolina puts another run on the board, but they're up 8-0 going to the top of the 5th, and Cali still has some time to figure it out.
We are here with Jalen and Hosiel of the Greensboro Aggies here at the Diamond Stadium. Tell me, guys, you guys got quite a lead going on right now. What is it that's going through your head?
Just go ahead and get these 2 runs and get out of here. I mean, we try to get ahead of every team we played and try to get up big and get out of here in 5 innings. That's the biggest thing.
Now, 2 years ago, you guys kind of crushed Team Cali as well. Tell me, what is your strategy?
Same thing, same mindset, just try to make it home quick in 5 innings.
TEM takes you backstage where there's no detailed overlooked. We pay attention to all the little things that gives your event the razor's edge for success. TEM.
Back in business at the Diamond in Richmond, and as we start the top of the fifth, North Carolina's up 8-0 over Team Cali. Jalen Davis still on the hill for North Carolina. I mean, he's only given up 2 hits today.
Yeah, 2 hits. He's very strong. He's working fast, and he's in control of his game.
And Darion Evans in for Team Cali. I mean, as a California hitter right now, I mean, what can these boys from Oakland do to sort of at least start touching Davis?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to approach him and understand that his bread and butter pitch is that breaking ball.
And we saw another strike there with it.
Another breaking ball.
So 1-2 to Evans, and I mean,
I think they know it's coming. I just think they just don't know how to approach it.
And Evans puts that one in play right back to Davis and the routine out to first. And like we've seen with North Carolina all day, they've been good at getting that first strike, that first out, and getting some momentum on their side defensively.
When you're hitting the ball game, first strike, and now you put the hitter back on their heels. So it's when you start throwing balls, trying to get cute, trying to do more than what you've already done, you open yourself up for problems. And Davis right now is mature enough to understand that he's in control of this ball game.
And Riley Simmons steps into the box against Davis here. 1 out, no one on, and Cali trying to overcome an 8-run deficit.
Well, it doesn't help to go up and swing at the first pitch.
Right.
It doesn't help whether it's a strike or a ball. It doesn't help swinging at the first pitch when you're that far down.
And he swings at the second as well. 0-2 to Riley Simmons.
Yeah.
And you have to feel that pressure in the Cali dugout to not necessarily be the savior, but everybody wants to do their part to climb back in it, and that's when you overexert yourself.
Yeah, you want to do something, to get your team going, but sometimes the opposing team is only going to let you do so much.
Mm-hmm.
They're only going to let you do so much, and you have to be smart about this.
So Davis coming 1-2, another ball from him.
I'm trying to think. I don't know the philosophy, what the coaches tell them to do right now, but I would be just making him wait as long as I possibly can, because he wants to work fast. Make him wait as long as you possibly can, and just take some pitches. If you throw a first pitch strike, so be it.
So, that breaking ball freezes Simmons, and another strikeout for Davis there. I mean, that one broke beautifully.
Backdoor slider, and that's his bread and butter pitch. You're going to have to go up there, and whether you can hit it or not, that's what he's throwing, you're going to have to sit on it.
So Cameron Jones steps into the box, and, I mean, Davis has only given up 2 hits today. What's the challenge to stay engaged on defense when you haven't seen any action in a while?
Well, and that's tough when you're in defense and the pitchers striking people out. You're not getting many plays. It's very easy to get back on the heels and lose a little focus defensively. So that hasn't happened yet, and maybe it won't.
So first pitch to Jones here, 2 outs already in the inning for North Carolina, and Davis has worked efficiently all day long. And
that's got to be depressing, for the Cal team to know that, you get in the dugout and before you know it, you're 2 outs and you're 1 strike away from going back on defense. You barely got time to get a drink of Gatorade before you're back on defense. So it's depressing right now, but they're going to have to there's some time left.
So the 1-1 pitch to Jones, and he misses that one swinging. 1-2 with 2 outs here.
They're just not going to hit. They cannot handle that. This is a slider that evidently has a lot of depth to it. It's late breaking. They're just not being able to handle that.
Jones fouls that one off of something at that. We heard that clap.
Yeah, that's one of those questionable pitches. But the thing about it is, I don't know if the pitches are being called from the dugout or where, but they're staying with the breaking ball, and I think it's smart.
And that one caught him inside.
Fastball, check swing, yeah.
So another KO for Davis, and North Carolina's out of the inning. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, no damage done again by Team Cali. North Carolina up 8-0.
I'm Rick Powell, and I'm a catcher.
I'm Patrick Nuzzi. I play shortstop outfield.
My name is Brandon Burks, and I play shortstop and third base.
We are the Greensboro Aggies. We are watching TEM Video. Word.
It's India Laughlin for TEM Video, and we are here with
Carmen Winston.
And Carmen, where are you from?
I'm from East End, Henrico County.
All right, so what brings you here today to the Diamond Stadium for the Metropolitan Junior League Baseball?
Well, I came out with my church, St. Paul's, for the church service, and then we got to stay for the game, so I'm rooting for the Aggies.
Is there a reason why you're rooting for the Aggies, or?
Because they're from Carolina. That's where I was born.
Oh, really? Where were you born?
Columbia, South Carolina.
All right, go Carolina. So thank you so much. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more of the game.
So back to action at the Diamond in Richmond, Virginia here. North Carolina up 8-0. And Kevin Murphy, we saw him pinch run earlier. This is his first at bat of the day. Joshua Pigg still on the mound for Cali, and the first pitch strike there. And we spoke about it earlier, I mean, in between innings, Mookie. I mean, he's shown so much composure for a high school kid here with the adversity he's seen for things that are out of his control. He really hasn't changed his approach to batters.
No, I think he's doing the ball well, and I hope that there's some college scouts here that can see this kid. I think they will be impressed, and that he can definitely help somebody's program.
And after the first strike, he comes back with 2 straight balls. I mean, you know, they haven't picked him up defensively. The offense hasn't been able to do much, but he's been there.
Yeah.
He's been there.
He's been there. You know, it's been a little erratic with his control, but I mean that's to be expected. You know, I mean, his control has not been any part of the problem. You know, so he's doing a good job.
And this Greensboro team, like I said, when you're winning, what did you say? When you're winning, you're alert. They've been alert. And Kevin Murphy fouls that one off. They've been alert to say, hey, this team can come back. Let's make it so hard for them to come back.
Yeah, I think that they've experienced that teams coming back on them and even scared them yesterday. I mean, they ended up winning the ball game, but they were so scared. So they're not going to let up until that last out.
And we just saw Thomas Gronko on deck. He's looking to get his first at bat of the game. So Murphy here, full count, and strikeout by Pigg there to start the inning. And look, even throwing around, they seem a little bit more spry doing that. We haven't seen that from Cali in a while.
No, you haven't seen that. You know, they just don't have that bounce in their step right now.
So Gromko steps into the box, 1 out, no one on. And a first pitch strike from Pigg. I think getting that first out was a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, well, you know, it's got to be for him. But, you know, he has to feel good about what he is doing right now, and he's coming out. He's throwing strikes. I mean, it's been impressive.
Attempt at a breaking ball there.
Yeah, you know, that's another breaking ball that he didn't finish. You know, he didn't finish it. You know, so he just throwing strikes.
So the 1-1 to Gromko, that pitch a little high.
I'm wondering how he might be getting a little fatigue now. He's worked hard. He's thrown a lot of pitches, you know.
These haven't been short innings at all.
They haven't been short innings, and, you know, emotionally it has to be a strain on him. So, you know, he might be getting a little weary right about now.
We've seen the sun come out really high here today, so we wonder if the temperatures are up on the field. And, you know, Northern California ain't Southern California.
Oh,
big difference. Big difference.
Big difference. You know.
So Gromko fouls that ball away. It's 2-2, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah. But these kids they've had a good time here for the past week. They have really enjoyed themselves.
And Richmond as a host city, I mean, they've done their thing. I mean, the turnout today was pretty impressive.
It was pretty impressive. You know, the competition has been really good. The competition, you know, we talk about the players, but the coaching is getting better.
Right.
The coaching has gotten better. You're getting more.
And Gronko just swings at that one, a bad swing on his part. But another strikeout for Pigg, and, you know, 2 down for Cali. And
it's a quick 2 down. I mean, but we're talking the 5th inning.
5th inning. Still down 8 runs. It's good to see that he's engaged. He's still engaged. And, yeah, like we said, the coaching, how much of that, you know, the bump we've seen in coaching is a credit to, you know, clinics being available and money being available to support, you know, grassroots baseball efforts in some of these communities.
But I think that's the one thing that we do need is you do have to have money because the kids are not able to go to these quality clinics and grab their coaching. So it's up to the coaches to be able to go get that information and bring it back to the kids. But sometimes what happens is something gets lost in the translation of technique and theory.
Right.
And that's where the problem is right there. There's no one book that tells all about baseball. And
right.
That's tough.
So Eric Kimmer puts that one into play, and it gets by the second baseman. So a single for him. And we get back to the top of the Aggies lineup.
But the good thing about that is there's 2 outs.
2 outs.
They're 2 outs. That's when all the problems started last time.
Right. Right. And Colon has been a problem since he led this game off with a triple and then scored on the pass ball. I mean, it was 1-0 here before Cali knew what hit him. And the man behind that is in the plate now with 2 outs and a man on.
And it just snowballed from there. I think the second inning was the only sharp inning that they had.
Right.
And
that was Pig's first
inning. That was Pig's first inning,
That's a good strike from him. 1-1 is the count.
He haven't given up many hits. I don't know what the official score is scored, some of those things. But we're not talking hits, not from my point of view.
Right.
So
that 4 errors might even be generous.
That
might be more than that.
Might be generous, but he's they're swinging the bats, but defense got to do their part.
So Colon is in 1-1, and he puts that one in play to the third baseman. And 3 outs.
3 outs
for Cali. No damage done for the first time in a while, and that has to feel good for them coming into these last couple innings down 8 runs.
Well, I'm feel good for Pigs that he had an easy inning. He doesn't, because the kid has to be getting tired right about now.
And it's good to see his teammates, the few of them that came out to meet him before he got to the dugout, say, all right, the bench is engaged again.
They understand what he has done. They understand you put your heart out there for us. And we're down 8 runs, but, man, you've done your job.
Right.
You've done your job.
So as we go to the top of the 6th, it's 8-0 North Carolina over Team Cali.
Yes.
And what do you plan on doing when the season's over?
Oh, just hit the weight room again. No days off.
Getting ready for the next season. So where are you guys going to college?
I'm going to Appalachian State.
Pitt Community College.
And then what is your position?
I play outfield. I play center field.
And you'll be doing that at App?
Yeah.
And what about you?
Center field.
And you'll be going?
Pitt.
Well, congratulations. It looks like you guys are probably going to win this game. And just keep up the great momentum.
Thank you.
We'll be back to the game in just a minute.
Thanks again for calling. Hello, my name is James E. Henson Jr. I am proud owner and founder of HDH Printing. The name speaks for itself. Henson doesn't hesitate to meet your copy and printing needs. We're located in downtown Richmond. We're just a telephone call away. Area code 804-648-3005. Remember, Henson doesn't hesitate to meet your copy and printing needs. Hello, HDH, James Henson.
So the top of the 6th here at the Diamond in Richmond, Virginia, the Metropolitan Junior Baseball League 1900 Championship. And Team Cali's in a rut right now, down 8-0 to North Carolina, but Jalen Davis has been good all day long.
He's been phenomenal, and he's starting back again, that breaking ball for a strike.
First pitch strike.
I mean, that just works wonders.
And another strike there, and I mean, Watson has to wonder, man, what can I do, Rupert Watson, who's already at Napa Valley College? Like, I mean,
he's
leadoff man, 3 pitches and 3, and he's down already, back to the dugout.
If this is what college is going to be, man, I'm in for a long haul.
And Davis just looks so calm, calm.
He'll get better. He'll understand. But see, this is great for kids because they understand it now. Okay. This is what I'm going to have to face. I'm going to have to learn to handle good breaking balls at any count, people that can throw breaking balls for a strike.
And this is the bar now. Like, you see what kids are doing. There's that huge distinction between East Coast, West Coast baseball, and, Hey, good players are everywhere.
They're everywhere. They are everywhere. And, baseball is still alive.
So top of the 6th, 1 out. Tyrone Bowie steps in for Team Cali. They're down 8 runs and just trying to get something going. I mean, we've seen them in a couple innings get guys, on base and even move them in the scoring position, but they haven't capitalized at all. And I mean, still, Davis has only given up 2 hits today.
2 hits. They had one opportunity to score, and they hit a ground ball to the second baseman. So he really has limited their opportunity. So they haven't had anything to really cheer about. They haven't had anything to give them even the idea that we can score. It just hasn't happened.
And we worried about, how fast he was working, how long he could sustain it. But, I mean, he's been impressive.
It's 6 innings, and he's throwing minimal pitches.
Right.
And that's helped. He had minimal pitches and long innings to rest.
And he's been able to help himself on the offensive end as well, as you see that strike go in 2-2 to Tyrone Bowie. And he's at Contra Costa College in California. Fouls that one away. And how long is that trip from Oakland to Richmond got to be? Man.
Well, I've had that trip a couple times, man. You can watch a couple movies.
So these boys, they're up on the rail now. They're trying to encourage their teammates, and that's good to see. We haven't seen that, past innings.
They're trying, but
Bowie puts that one into play to the shortstop, and he's legging it out. And he, good throw by the shortstop there to get him out. 2 outs now.
As I say, they have good athletes on that North Carolina team. And like I said, the shortstop, he pitched yesterday, and he's going to, I want to say Appalachian State.
All right, headed to Boone.
I think that's where they said he's going. So they have some guys there who are already committed to go to schools and do well.
So Joshua Pigg steps in to the box. And, I mean,
there's no doubt this kid's an athlete.
Takes a first pitch strike, though, from Davis, who he hasn't gotten behind many people today.
No, that's at any level. That first pitch strike is going to really help you, because, rarely will it hurt you.
Pig swinging there, just a little behind.
But that's one of the few fastballs, that he has thrown. And they're getting that pitcher's up in the zone a little bit. And
it sets him up to do so much more.
It sets you up to do so much more.
What do you even expect now, 2 strikes and 2 outs, and, this guy's throwing a breaking ball your teammates haven't touched. I mean, your mind's got to be going crazy for this pitch. And
there it is.
The KO gets Davis out of the inning, and no damage done again, 3 up, 3 down for North Carolina and Team Cali. I mean, they have to be frustrated.
It's frustrating, and Davis is throwing that backdoor slider to the left-hand hitters, and it's freezing them. And it must be late breaking, and it has some depth to it. So, I give him credit. True, they're not hitting it, but you still have to throw it for strikes.
Right.
And he's doing it.
So as we go to the bottom of the 6th, the score, North Carolina 8, California 0.
Has your marketing program been hurt by budget cuts? Have you been looking for a way to stretch your advertising budget? Dear Sales and Marketing can help solve the problem. We offer quality promotional products at a fair price. We have over 40 years of sales and marketing experience. Visit our website at www.dearsales.com or call 803-546-4051.
We have 4 children, 3 cats, a dog, a bird, and a bunny. So there are a lot of mouths to feed. And dinner time can be a little hectic because when they're hungry, they're hungry. And with such a large family and being on a single income, we have to save money. And that's why we shop at Martin's. They have the bonus buys and the fuel perks that help me save more. When I look at my receipt and see the savings, I realize we just couldn't do it without them.
I'm Jamie Town, and I get the most for my money at Martin's.
All right, so bottom of the sixth here at the Diamond in Richmond, Virginia. Surprised to see Joshua Pigg still out there on the mound for Team Cali, but I mean, all the damage done today, very little of it has been his fault, and his team is, just hasn't rallied behind him.
He has been outstanding. He's, location has been a problem, from one hitter here and there, but it has not contributed to the problems that Team Cali has had.
And Nen Marrero in the box for North Carolina. I mean, they've been cruising. They started out really early. They haven't had, been as effective as they were in the early innings. But, I mean, when you got a lead like that, you can't blame them for slowing down offensively.
Well, the team, North Carolina, has not been challenged. Mm-hmm. They've had fairly easy innings on the offensive end and the defensive end. Offensively, because Team Cali has made so many mistakes.
Right.
On defensive end, the pitcher's done so well they haven't had many plays to make, so they haven't really been challenged. In this game.
So Pig has the 0-2 advantage over Nen Marrero. And I mean, we thought fatigue would be a problem. He seems pretty comfortable. He's not showing it, at least. That fastball is still almost where it needs to be, except for the occasional opportunity where it gets out of hand. And that hit up the middle, starting with something. North Carolina's been good about that.
Yeah, I mean, they've been getting runners on, basically every inning. But there again, the innings that they scored 0 in runs, and then they scored another 1 run in the 5th inning. Yeah, but for the most part, Pigs has kind of limited the damage, based on what his defense allowed.
Right, and that's just a solid hit. I mean,
that was a solid hit. No,
right.
I mean, you can't take that away from the hitter.
So Jalen Davis, the starting pitcher for the North Carolina side, in the box, and he hits another one up the middle. Sends the center fielder retreating, but he gets under it and 1 out, and I'm sure he's happy to sit Davis down.
Oh, no kid. He's been a thorn, man.
He's happy to sit Davis down.
But that's good.
So 1 away for Team Cali, 1 man on, and Brandon Burke steps into the box for North Carolina. And, this Aggies team, most of these guys are from Greensboro, North Carolina, and, their team name a nod to the university there.
Yeah. They are from the Greensboro area. As you know, they were there a couple years ago when they hosted. And you have a lot of players there. And, I was speaking with the commissioner, of that area, and they want to expand to the Charlotte area, the Raleigh area, and stuff. So,
and Marrero was going on that pitch. The hit and run was on. They're not done generating runs on the North Carolina side.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how smart that is right there, running, 8-run lead, by going into the 7th inning. I don't know how smart that is. But there again, that's stuff that you will learn, later on, during, your careers and stuff.
And when you're up, you can take chances, and that sort of seems to be
the
approach they have.
But that's a chance right there that you don't need to take. You up 8 runs, and if this game is going 7 innings and you're already in the bottom of the 6th,
right?
You really don't need that chance.
So 1-1 pitch to Burks, and Pig gets the strike there. And North Carolina, I mean, you have to be impressed. I mean, the high school products they put out of that Greensboro area, and Charlotte as well. I mean, I played high school ball in Charlotte, and, there's guys who are in the majors now that I saw in high school. So it's like it's very different. And that ball's straight up.
Oh, it's
Grant
very
Park's
different.
trying to see if he has room for it, and he gets the out.
See, that's a strong throw.
Strong throw.
So there's nothing wrong with his throwing. He's just Parks just kind of lost his concentration behind the plate as far as fielding the ball. He's catching the ball has been his issue, not throwing it.
And Team Cali has to feel good to have 2 outs and only 1 man on as Sean Moss steps back into the box.
Yeah, I think that this team, they're young, and I think that they will learn from this. I think the coaching staff would also learn from this and maybe how to better prepare his players, for a championship game.
And if recent years tells anything, Team Cali will be back.
Oh, they'll
North
be
Carolina
back.
team will be back.
They'll be back. I think that there's certain areas and certain coaches that know how to groom players, for this. I think that they spend so much time preparing so many different teams. This is an older group, and I think what happens is the word is going to get back home, and you're going to see players come and say, I want to play.
Right.
And you're going to start getting, probably better players playing, particularly of the exposure.
So 1-1 pitch, and Moss fouls that one off. 1-2 advantage for Pig, and I mean he's a pitch away from getting out of another inning unscathed.
So it's a pitch away. But while we have a minute here, I just like to let everyone know, that tournaments like this shows that baseball is still alive in the black communities.
Yes, sir.
It's still alive. We still have kids that love this game, and can still contribute to this game.
And that pitch skips. I think Pig thought I'm getting out of the inning right here on that one and overdid it a little bit. So
yeah, he tried to throw his best pitch and it just bounced at 40 feet in front of the plate right there.
So Marrero moves down to scoring position, but he's still 2-2 with 2 outs and
2-2, 2 outs, and the guy that's had one of the best days of anyone else in this game days up at the plate.
Sack fly, triple, single, Moss already.
That. That's that ball down and in. He just don't hit that ball very well. He just don't handle that ball very well.
But he almost legged it out. He at least made the throw urgent.
Yeah, this time.
So Cali gets out of the inning without giving up a run, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. They're down 8-0 in the Metropolitan Junior Baseball League 1900 championship game.
TEM takes you backstage where there's no detailed overlooked. We pay attention to all the little things that gives your event the razor's edge for success. TEM.
So, Team California, top of the 7th inning here in Richmond at the Diamond, and this is their last opportunity down 8 runs. I mean, Jalen Hill's going for the complete game. Why not? He's only given up 2 hits today, and he's contributed offensively as well.
Yeah, he's had a great game. He's thrown minimal pitches. I'd be curious to know what his pitch count is.
Right.
He's just been phenomenal. And
Grant Parks, the catcher, good stop by the shortstop, but that throw is awry into the stands, and hey, a running in scoring position for Team Cali here to start the last inning for them.
The excitement, that was a play of we're about to win this ball game, so let me do something that's going to really put a topping on it.
He made the stop, he made the turn, but the throw was
he did a great play, and if he throws the ball on line, he got some out easily. But they're laughing about it because they feel like they have this game in under control.
And a pinch runner in for California. So Grant Park's day is done. I mean, he did what he could there.
Yeah.
And he battled all game. I mean, he was nicked up early. He had his problems with composure, but he battled through this game, and that's something you like to see, that kind of resolve.
Yeah. He didn't give up. He didn't quit. He struggled, just receiving the ball a little bit. But other than that, all that is stuff that you can fix. All that's fixed. I think it's just a matter of concentration, stay focused on what your job is.
So Bradley Cooper's in, and he's actually ahead of Davis for the first time today. He's struck out twice at the hands of Jalen Davis, and he fouls that one off. Now it's 1-1. But they have a man on second, and, the team's still up hey, why not?
It may not seem like much, but when you score a run, even if it's in a losing effort, at least you scored. And they have an opportunity to score again. Now, that's a long ways at second base, but they still have an opportunity.
So Jalen Davis looks in. 1-1 pitch. It's a little outside, and now we're starting to see some control issues from him that we were wondering when we would. And
yeah, I'm quite sure that Team Cali is saying, wow, it's a little late.
Now it doesn't want to break across the plate,
Yeah. But he's been on point. He's even working a little slower.
So that pitch up 3-1, and I don't think I've seen him throw 3 balls all day today.
I'm shocked, but he's taking a little bit more time.
And credit Young for being patient in the box. I mean, he struck out swinging twice today, but it's because he was so aggressive,
Yeah.
Fouls that one off, so the count goes full with no outs. And it's almost sad it took this long that they're waiting on their pitch now, but now they know, okay, yeah, we might get it.
Well, what happened is that he missed earlier with those wild breaking balls that he threw, and he got behind the count. So that's what we said earlier. That first pitch strike is so big, and if it's a first pitch breaking ball for a strike, that's even bigger.
So full count here. Davis looks in, and Bradley Young in the box. And Young gets that one. Oh, just foul. And that could have been something that woke their team up.
That could have been something, at least, get the kids up and feel good about something that they have done today. I mean, they played well for this whole tournament, but you want to be competitive in a championship game, whether you win it or you lose it. I mean, but you want to be able to say we put up a good fight. And so far, the first 6 innings of this ball game, Team Cali have not shown, that fight or the consistency anyway of playing the game at least fundamentally sound.
And the full count as we look in, and that doesn't discredit anything they've done to get to this spot.
No.
They're in the championship game for a reason. They've beat some good teams to get here as Young fouls that one off into the stands.
Yeah, it's no question. They've played well, and they've done a great job of playing. I just think maybe it's the spotlight. Maybe they got a little over.
Ran out of gas.
Yeah. They might be running out of gas. And there's no question in my mind, and it's repetitive what I'm saying, but when the starting pitcher comes out of the game in the first inning, that is not the route that they wanted to take today.
Absolutely not. So full count still, a man on second, Bradley Young in the box, and Jalen Davis going for the complete game for North Carolina. I mean, he's been in cruise control.
Yeah. And he still is, and he should be taking his time now a little bit more, not to get over anxious.
And the strikeout.
And that's a generous call by the umpire right there, So I don't think that the hitter was very pleased with that call. But when you're down, hang with him. Hang with him.
What can you do? So that's, the third time Young strikes out today. But, I mean, Davis has been just that good.
Yeah, he's been that good. He's been that good.
So Kashka Dudley steps in, and he's also, struck out today. But, Cali still has a man in scoring position with one out, and we'll see what they can do with it. First pitch, and he hits that one. Slow roller. But, you got runners on the corners now, and, hey, two runners on, one out.
That's another tough play for the shortstop. I've seen that play made. But that was a tough play for him. Even if he feels the ball, it's going to be a tough play at first base. So, he kept it in the infield, so at least they didn't score the run. They still have a double play in the order, still preserving the shutout.
So Malika Barr-Pruitt on third, and the catcher going out to talk to Davis. I mean, a double play ends the game for them, and they walk away with a W. But Cali, hey, they get a run across the board here. A little inspiration never hurt.
Never hurts at all. And for the first time, we have seen a little signs of fatigue on Davis. That's right. For the whole day. And I expect to see it earlier, in this game, but we just haven't seen it.
And the whole infield comes out to meet Davis. Hey, we're almost there.
We're almost there, man. Come on, if you can hang in there for a couple more pitches, then we'll be out of here and we can raise the trophy. But, I think that they've done a good job, and I think it's a good move. Let's get together here. Let's get everything, thoughts back together, make sure we're all on the same page of what we want to do here. Are we concerned about this one run, or are we concerned about the win?
So they settle down, and Evans settles into the box. First pitch strike swinging. We've seen that before.
We've seen that before.
We've seen that before.
He went back to his breaking ball. A little slower pitch.
And still able to locate it this late in the game after throwing it all game long.
He pretty took a little bit off of it. This will get me over breaking ball is what it was.
And that pitch could be a double play to end it.
And
there you go.
Play in the game.
North Carolina takes home the victory 8-0 over Team Cali from Oakland. And, hey, these boys from Greensboro, North Carolina earned it. They played great all game long. 3 hits for Jalen Davis. And, you can't ask for much more.
You can't ask for much more. I think that they came in this game confident-wise and offensively. I expected more offense from Cali. North Carolina did not disappoint me. I knew they would swing the bat. That I knew they would do. They pitched a lot better than I expected. I thought that they didn't have enough bodies left to pitch, but they didn't need any bodies because Davis did a great job.
And you know, as the game wraps up, you like to see the sportsmanship between the two teams. I mean, they've been fierce rivals, you know, the past few years, and, you know.
Well, I think that they all know we all here for the same purpose. We're here, number one, we're going to have fun, and we want to expose our talents, you know, to as many people as we possibly can, even if that means going across country to do it. And they have accomplished that. I think they have accomplished exactly what the organization wanted to see come out of this whole tournament, and that was some quality, you know, athletes that willing to play this game of baseball and still can play this game of baseball.
They're rolling the trophies out on the field now. That's what it's for.
This is what it's all about, you know. And, you know, as much as we all want to get trophies and stuff, there's a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture here. And I think that these kids understand that we had the symposium on Friday night, and they understand what this is all about. And for it to get to this point where we have this many kids involved and this many parents that come and think enough of this organization to sacrifice whatever dollars they have to get the kids here, that speaks volumes.
And I mean, even if you know you didn't take home the championship, if you leave Richmond this weekend as a better player, you've accomplished something, and it was worth the trip.
It's worth the trip because now you know that there are people that care. There are people that are concerned, that value your contribution, not only to the game of baseball, but to your community and to this country. That's important.
That's a big deal. So, Team North Carolina, the 8-0 win, dominating fashion. I mean, even on defense, you didn't see lapses there, and their composure and their focus was a big deal today.
No, they were dominant. They were prepared. But, of course, when you jump off to a 4-0 lead, that helps a lot. You know, but it's interesting what would have happened if, as I said before, if they had been challenged.
Right.
They were not challenged in this game.
They didn't face adversity.
And so they had nothing to, no adjustment they had to make. And that would be the only thing I would have loved to have seen in this game.
It's got to be a proud moment for parents who came all this way to see, you know.
I've been around the parents all week, and you know I think they're more excited than the kids are. I mean, you know, to watch them, and they cheer for all the kids. Because I think the parents understand what this really means. You know, this could be career moment for a lot of these kids. I'm not talking about career in sports. It could be their career and changing their lives and going to school and becoming, like I say, a better person. And I think it's big.
It is big. And, I mean, there may have been a few scouts here who saw some of these kids from Cali they never would have got a chance to see. And, you know, might be getting some calls from the East Coast saying, hey, come out from Oakland.
Well, it's no question. And speaking with some of the kids, they have said that they would love to come to the East Coast to play. I mean, they make no mistake that they live in California, but they love the atmosphere here. They love the way the kids play here. They love the communities, and this is coming from the kids. They say they would love to come here and play baseball. They would love it.
And it's just good to see kids playing baseball. Period. And you know. It hasn't fallen off like people think. It's still important in these communities, and you see that by how the parents and families have turned out, how these players have been engaged, and how hard they work to be really, really good at it, and that's impressive to see.
And that's the big thing, because our concern with the MJBL is that people have to think that African Americans don't play baseball anymore. This is the impression that because you don't see them at the major league level and very few in major colleges. You just don't see it, but they're there. They're still there.
Absolutely.
And they just need a forum to display their talents. That's what they need.
And this forum has been a great one. I mean, all weekend long.
Yeah, it's been good.
The venue, the city,
the
players, the families. It's been a great weekend.
It's been great. I've been to quite a few of these now, and it's amazing.
So we wrap things up here in Richmond, Virginia at the Diamond. I'm Mike McCray alongside Mookie Wilson. And we saw North Carolina win in dominating fashion in the 19 and under championship game. So those boys go back to Greensboro with a championship. And what really stood out to you today about just how well they played?
The thing is the composure. They really took the game under control. The pitcher, of course, it's been a long week, and I was a little concerned about the fatigue that the pitcher might have when he started. But as we know, Davis did a great job of controlling the ball game. He pitched very, very fast and kept his defense in the game. And offensively, they gave them enough comfort there that they weren't ever challenged, and it made a very easy game for them.
This has been a TEM video production.